What happened to make you realize you couldn't save someone? I met Angie while we were both working at a local restaurant. She was looking for a new roommate, and I was ready to move out of my parents' house. Angie would occasionally rant about random topics or things her favorite creators were doing, but she was really sweet and I enjoyed working with her, so I figured, why not? On the day I moved in, immediately noticed a line of bottle caps neatly arranged along the wall of the kitchen. I asked Angie about it, and she told me she was collecting them because a YouTuber she watched highly recommended that particular soda. Yeah, it seemed weird, but I figured it was just a minor quirk and pretty easy to live with. I had no idea things were only going to get worse. Angie did more than just to over influencers and creators. She took everything they said as fact. She was careful to buy only the brands recommended by them. She only played the video games they played, and the weirdest part was that who exactly she followed changed at least once a week. It felt like her algorithm would recommend someone new every once in a while. And once that happened, Angie formed a new fixation on this new creator. Again, it was all very weird, but it wasn't like she was hurting anybody. I did my best to accept that doing whatever her current favorite creator said was a quirk Angie had, and not to worry about it. But I couldn't ignore her behavior once Angie switched to a creator that I'll call Creepy Queen. The first couple of days weren't too bad. Creepy Queen reacted to a lot of old school horror movies, so that was all Angie to watch. Fine by me. I've always thought black and white films were neat. Then Angie started dressing like a Victorian vampire. Halloween was months away, but whatever. The first video that concerned me was one where Creepy Queen claimed to avoid sunlight at all costs. That night, Angie called our boss and told him she would only work a night shift from then on her, that the night shift hardly made any money, but she got irritated and told me not to, but into her finances. Then came a video where Creepy Queen went into detail about how she only consumed energy to sustain herself. I overheard Angie watching this video while she sat on the couch and I was sitting at the table behind her eating breakfast. I got a sinking feeling in my stomach. I asked Angie, "Hey, I'm gonna go grocery shopping later. Need me to pick up anything?" "No thanks. I still have leftovers, but those leftovers remain untouched." It only took a few days for Angie to not only look paler, but for dark circles to form under her eyes when she wasn't locked in her room. She was sluggish when moving around the house. She couldn't awake when we watched a movie together. Finally, she was sitting on the couch again when I tore her phone out of her hands. "Be honest, when was the last time you ate?" She blinked drowsily, what I heard Creepy Queen talking about her diet. "You know that's not real, right? You can't survive off of freaking vibes. You need to eat something." Angie turned away from me and tried to wave me. "I feel fine. I'll eat when I'm hungry, will you? Because I'm scared that you won't." Angie crossed her arms and wouldn't look at me. I felt angry, but not entirely at her. She'd always been so sweet and caring towards me that I knew all of this had to be some sort of mental illness. I could ignore it and be her roommate and friend before, but now she was seriously hurting herself. I still had her phone in my hand, so I opened her YouTube app. "I'm unsubscribing you from Creepy Queen, and you better promise me not to look her up." I barely finished my sentence before Angie lunged at me, but her body was so weak that she fell to the floor. She started kicking and screaming, then sobbing like a toddler. My heart sank because I realized that I'd only been hurting her, practically encouraging her by not saying something about her obsessive nature sooner. I didn't know what to do. I felt I walked out of the apartment while she was still on the floor. I only realized I still had her phone when I was about to get into my car. I found her mom's contact and told her everything. That was when I learned that Angie had run away from home and her family had been searching for her for years. Angie's mom reached out to let me know that Angie was officially admitted to a place where professional would help her. I really hope they can.